3 surefire ways to motivate your sales team without stressing them out. You should watch this video if you are an entrepreneur or small business owner or sales manager at a large company and are realizing that your reps are struggling to hit their quotas. Instead of just dialing up the pressure on your team to hit the numbers, learn how to maximize performance by engaging with sellers in the 3 areas we are discussing in this video. Stop losing sleep to low sales. Get your reps the help they need. Welcome back, folks, to another edition of the awesome Sweetie Kiwi Show. How you doing today? I hope you are doing fantastic. I'm doing marvelous, if you were to ask me. If you are doing as great as I am, go grab a cup of coffee or tea or vodka and let's roll. Today I want to talk about 3 ways, only 3 surefire ways to motivate your sales team without stressing them out. 1. Focus on the sales process, not the outcome. You want to reach $1 million this month? That's pretty good. Focus on the process, not on the money. The money will take care of itself. What is the sales process? Sales process is pretty clear. It is a roadmap to creating the kind of sales experience that customers value and that sets you apart from the competition. Let me repeat that, folks, because the whole conversation in this show will revolve around the sales process. So the sales process is a roadmap. It is a blueprint to creating the kind of sales experience that customers value and that differentiates you, that sets you apart from the competition. If you want to create a process that will help your sellers sell, you want to match it to how buyers buy. So what you want to do is you want to have a column where you can list or you can design the process whereby buyers buy. And in the other column, you want to have the process whereby sellers sell. So at the end of the day, it's just a matching process. You want to accompany you want to have an idea. You want your sales rep to have an idea of the customer journey, and so that they can deploy appropriate tactics to reach the customer or the prospect at a very specific stages. In each phase of the sales process, there are a few key actions that influence whether or not an opportunity will progress to the next stage. And this becomes an opportunity management exercise. You're trying to figure out whether this is a great opportunity, whether it will move on to the next stage. You want to work with the sales team to understand where they need leadership help. This may include discussing creative approaches to gain access to key decision makers, for example. You can plan sales call strategies around critical issues and investing in specific department to support the sales process and demonstrate capabilities. What I'm trying to say here is that you may have the best salespeople in the whole world, but if you don't give them the encouragement, the support, the ability, and the empowerment to do the things they are good at, they will never succeed. And the empowerment comes from things like access to key decision makers. For example, you have a client, so you have a big company. Let's say you have a small company and you're trying to sell to eBay, or you're trying to sell to Google, or you're trying to sell to IBM, and your salespeople are struggling to hit their quota numbers. At some point, you got to have intel within IBM or Google or Facebook to tell you whom you should talk to. That's the access I'm talking about. Besides the access, you need to have also a right strategy for sales, the right sales strategy. And that strategy should revolve around critical issues and processes. Now let's look, those issues and processes are inherently correlated to the 7 stages of the typical sales process. The typical sales process starts with prospecting. Now let's look at this. You have on the screen right now, we have mapped out the sales process for you, and you can see that it always starts with prospects. It always starts with prospect because the salespeople, the sales reps have to prospect. They have to look for interested candidates, interested customers. So once you have the prospecting phase and the individual has expressed interest in the company's services or products, you want to make contact. So your salespeople have to make contact. And once you make contact, you have a conversation, you talk for a while, you email back and forth. The prospects give you their information. You kind of analyze the industry, the company they're calling for. Then you validate the prospects. That means the prospect's needs are in sync with the products and services you're offering, your company's offering. After validating your prospect, the next phase is nurturing the prospect. It takes time, folks. Someone is not going to meet you today and start buying from you tomorrow. It doesn't happen that way unless you are already known. You have already gained authority and the leadership in the industry. Everybody knows and loves you. But if you're new or you're small, you have to earn that respect. And you earn respect if you nurture your prospects. Let me repeat that. You earn respect if you can nurture your prospects. Once you nurture the prospect for a while and you're comfortable and he or she is comfortable with moving forward, then you present your offer. That's when you basically start, going hard, and you tell your sales rep to be a little aggressive. Again, aggressive in quote unquote here. We are trying to be polite and courteous, but still we have to be resilient and determined, right? So you present your offers. Now, no offer is accepted right away. People will come back to you and say, listen, I can't afford this. This is not what I'm looking for. And I'm just thinking about walking away, going to the competition. This is where you have to be strategic. You have to overcome the objections. You have to overcome the hurdles. You have to overcome the prospects' doubts. And once you do that, if you are successful, if your sales reps are successful in overcoming the objections of the prospects, then you can close the sale. Then this becomes a sale. This can go into the revenue section of your company. All right. So make contact. First, you start with prospect. Make contact. Validate your prospect. Nurture your prospect. Present your offer. Overcome objections and close the sale. These are the 7 stages of the typical stage process, the typical sales process. I'll be right back right after this. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, folks, to another edition of Sweetie Kiwi. I hope you are still having fun with today's conversation. We really appreciate it. And I'm talking to you about 3 surefire ways to motivate your sales team without stressing them out. In the first session, the first is to focus on the sales process, not the outcome. Number 2, focus on creating an impeccable sales experience that both the clients and the salesperson enjoy. Remember, your sales rep is tasked with bringing in the money, bringing in the sales. But if he or she is not having fun in the process, nothing will happen. And that's not what we want here. We want money. We want some ka-ching going into the business. And for this to happen, everybody must have fun. Of course, people need to work hard, and that's important, but they need to have fun. So you want to focus on creating an excellent sales experience for both parties, for both stakeholders, the sales rep and the client. The sales experience is an important differentiator when customers evaluate their options. What is sales experience? Because sales experience is linked to something else called CX, customer experience. Sales experience include creating value for customers by helping them to see the issues or problems they hadn't considered, opportunities they were not aware of, and solutions they haven't anticipated. So this experience requires sales reps to apply research, strategic thinking, expertise to the customer's particular circumstances so they can create value in the experience. And I'm not talking here, and this is beyond the product or service they're selling. So these subtle elements of the sales cycle, they suffer when the focus is on closing a deal. You're thinking quantity, you're thinking numbers, you're thinking dollars, you're thinking pounds, you're thinking euros, you're thinking yen, instead of quality. Right? Because you have a quota. So the focus is on closing a deal within a specific period or time, a month, a quarter, or year end, so that the quota of the month of that period will be hit. And this, if not done properly, can have a detrimental effect on the customer experience, which is another the flip side of this. So you have sales experience on one end, and then you have customer experience. Now, customer experience, also known as CX, this is basically the sum of the interactions and experiences your customer has with your business throughout the entire customer journey. I'm talking from first contact to become a happy and loyal customer. Now, CX is part of CRM, customer relationship management. And the reason why it's important is because a customer who has a positive experience with your business is more likely to become a repeat and loyal customer. And that's what you want. So happy customers remain loyal. Remember that always. So the happier you are with the brand, the longer you stay with them. That's just like me. Personally, I don't change because I just want to change. If I'm happy, I stay where I am. Okay. Now, let's talk about an important thing. And I'm hearing the question already. A lot of people mistakenly think that customer experience is the same as customer service. It's not. And let me just break it down for you. A customer first point of contact with a company is usually by interacting with an employee. This could be either speaking on the phone with someone or going to a store and talking to someone face to face. This gives your business an opportunity to do what? Deliver excellent customer service. Customer service here. However, customer service is only one aspect of the entire customer experience. So CS, as in Sam, as in service, is only part of CX. Let's say, I'll give you an example that's very relatable here. Let's say you book a family vacation on the phone, and the person you're talking with is friendly and helpful. That's great customer service, right? That means the person was in a good mood on that day. Maybe he or she was in a good mood on that day, and the conversation went well. Yet, if a few days later your tickets arrive, let's say late, and the hotel service is crappy, then that's a bad customer experience. So you have customer service and customer experience. This is how the two are different. To break it down even further, think of it as customer service is a one-time thing, and customer experience is an all-time thing. Customer experience is part of a process. It does not depend on one person's mood or mindset or physical or psychological abilities on that particular day. It's a systemic thing. Whereas customer service may change. If you happen to talk to an employee who's in a bad mood on that day, chances are, guess what? Your customer experience, your customer service might not be that good. So, like most things in today's marketplace, customer experience has changed. It's more than person-to-person service. And thanks to technology, companies can connect with their customers in new and exciting ways. So you can use CRM software. CRM stands for Client Relationship Manager software. You can view customer purchase history. You can predict future needs even before the customer knows they need it. So being able to predict a future need will let you be proactive and attentive to few things. For example, you can provide related products based on purchase history. You can create and deliver targeted email marketing campaigns. You can understand the 360-degree review or view of the customer. Now, what I'm trying to say here is that customer service is still great. It's still important. It's still quintessential, but it's no longer the sole focus of the customer experience. Nowadays, with the advent of the internet and new technology, I'm talking here about artificial intelligence and Internet of Things, the customer experience brings new ways to strengthen customer relationships through technological breakthroughs. And the bottom line here is we have a better, more timely, more personalized experience for the customer. And this is across all platforms. Whether we're talking about the company's website or social media accounts or blogs or other outlets, the customer experience is the same. I want to talk to you now about how important is the customer experience. Well, spoiler alert, it is important. It is very, very important. If you have a business, you cannot exist without your customers. That's for sure. Your profitability will take a hit. You will not last more than 1 year or unless you have a lot of cash in the bank. So companies, therefore, are focusing on how to win new business and perhaps more importantly, retain existing customers. The problem here, and this is not a small problem, folks, it's a big challenge. Most companies are failing to deliver a good customer experience. So folks are more focused on selling, hitting the quotas. You want to sell. Again, this is the conversation we're having here. You want to motivate your sales team without stressing them out. So you have to explain to them how important the customer experience is. So how do you deliver an excellent customer experience? You have to go back to the strategy. You have to go back to the ability to understand the market and see what your value proposition is. What is your target audience needs? What are they looking for? A lot of companies nowadays don't have that opportunity, or they don't have the expertise for that. As a matter of fact, Bain & Company, the consulting Bain & Company, they asked organizations to rate their quality of experience, customer experience. 2 years ago, 80% believed they are delivering a superior experience. This is compared to only 8% of customers who believe they are receiving a great customer experience. Think about that. Think about the delta here. The delta is huge. You have 80% of companies who believe they are delivering a superior experience. And on the other side, only 8%. So you have a delta of 72%. Only 8% of customers believe they are receiving an impeccable customer experience. That gap is huge. So according to Bain & Company, less than half of all companies deliver a good or excellent customer experience. The idea here is that a lot of big companies with all the resources they have, with all the opportunities they have, still haven't figured out the right way to nail the customer experience dilemma or conundrum, if you will, the challenge. They haven't been able to solve it. Customer expectations are rising, folks, and faster than the speed that companies can improve their customer experience. Customers expect nowadays every interaction, end to end, from contact to sale, that is, to be the best experience they have with any company, and not just yours. So the question really is, nowadays, the question is, how can your small business or large business, doesn't matter the size here, create a great customer experience strategy? Because at the end of the day, folks, that's what we're concerned about. Think about it. This is what we're concerned about. We are thinking about the best way to create an impeccable customer experience strategy. There are several ways to improve the customer experience and motivate your sales team. We have retained 7 ways where you can do this. You can really do this and move forward and improve the situation. Number 1, create a clear customer experience vision. You want your sales reps to visualize, to understand the customer experience vision you have. You need to have a clear customer-focused vision that you can communicate with anybody in your organization. And the easiest way to do this, create a set of statements that act as guiding principles. So you want to have principles about what you care about, if you care about the environment, if you care about customer satisfaction, if you care about employee morale, or if you care about your views about community. If you are in a community, you care about the local ecosystem, you care about the environment. Like, you need to put down a catalog of statements, of guiding principles, of quintessential principles that are important to your company, and you want to communicate that to your sales reps, among others. So once you have a clear customer experience vision, you need to understand who your customers are. You need to build upon this customer experience principles to bring to life the various types of customers who deal with your customer support teams. You need to have profiles. So if you're a small business or a large business for that matter is going to really understand customer needs and wants, then they need to connect and empathize with the situations that your customers face. What I'm trying to say here is that you want to understand whom you're dealing with, why they are calling you to complain, where they are, what they do, who they are, why they're doing what they do. You want to have the 5Ws, something called 5Ws plus the H of your customers. 5Ws stands for why, how, when, not how, sorry. Why, when, where, what, and when. Those are the 5. And then the H is the how. So what you want to have is you want to answer all possible questions that your customers might have. By doing that, you are able to know your customers better. And once you do that, you can segment your customers and create personas. And you can give each persona a name and personality. And you're able to train your sales rep in scenario analysis where they're dealing with different personas and personality. By doing that, your customer support team can acknowledge and they can recognize who they are and understand them better. Not just for the customer service team, also your sales team, because they have to convince those people later on if they want to sell to them. I also want to talk about, and I was telling you here earlier, we have 7 ways to improve the customer experience, right? I already gave you 2. Let's move on to the third one. You want to create an emotional connection with your customers. What is that? That means that you want to make the customer love you, appreciate the service. The best customer experiences are achieved when a member of your team creates an emotional connection with the customer. If a customer is calling at 11 p.m. rather, or 2 a.m. and somebody is picking up, I'm not talking about just having a switchboard operator picking up the phone. No, I'm talking about a local business, a small business, whereby a customer is calling the owner at 2 in the morning, and the owner picks up his or her phone and answer the customer. Imagine the emotional bonanza, the emotional joy. I don't even know that things exist, emotional joy, but imagine the emotional positivity that customer can have. So a business that optimizes for an emotional connection outperforms competitors in the long run. You're able to be closer to your customers. You're able to understand their problems. You're able to be there for them when they need you. You are able to recommend new product and services to them where they really think you understand and care about them. Not just because you're trying to close a deal, you're trying to close a sale here. And I'm sure you've heard the phrase, "It's not what you say, it's how you say it." It's not about the advice you're giving to a customer. It's how you're giving the advice. It's the intention behind. It's the intention behind what your sales reps are telling customers. So when your sales rep is picking up the phone and calling a customer or a prospect, he or she is not stressed about closing the sale. He or she is more concerned with solving a problem the customer is facing, solving a pain point the customer has expressed. So what we're having here is a conversation where it's a win-win. The salesperson, the sales rep, is fully aware of the mission here, of the vision. You also want to capture customer feedback in real time. If you want to improve the customer experience of your small business, you want to capture customer feedback. And you can do this several ways. You need to ask, and ideally you do this by capturing feedback in real time. In other words, you can use live chat tools to have a wonderful experience. to have a real-time conversations. And when you're done with those conversations, you want to send a follow-up email to every customer using post-interaction surveys and similar customer experience tools. It is possible, though, to make outbound calls to customers in order to gain more insightful feedback. You can also send text messages. It is critical to tie customer feedback to a specific customer support agent, which shows every team member the difference they are making to the business. It all goes to the motivation, right? Because the bottom line here is not just to focus on sales rep. Of course, the idea is to motivate your sales team without stressing them out, but they have to feel that they're part of a team after all, and that team has non-sales team members. You have the support staff, you have other stuff. So you have the back office, the front office, and the middle office. So this is teamwork in the truest sense, in the truest meaning of the word. I also want to talk to you about using a quality framework for development of your team. So if you are trying to create a better CS, a better customer experience for your team while you are integrating your sales team into the equation and also your admin teams and all the customer support team, you need to use a better framework. Now, what is the framework? The framework here is, and I want you to go back and we're going to show this on the screen so you have I showed this earlier in the conversation. This is the 7 stages of the sales process. And I want you to take another look. Remember, the 7 stages were what? So we are showing this on the screen right now, and so you can see it. So we have prospects. You have make contacts, validate your prospect, validate your prospect, nurture the prospect, present your offer, overcome the objections, and close the sales. Now, the best way to have this quality framework is to look at each aspect of the sales process, each stage of the sales process, and have a guiding principle, the guiding principle that I spoke about earlier. So you can say, if you have to reach out to a prospect, this is how you handle it. If you're making the first time contact, this is how you handle it. If you want to validate your prospect, this is how you handle it, and so on and so forth. Once you do this, you also want to act upon regular employee feedback. It is critical that if your goal is to satisfy customers, if your goal is to get more sales, and your goal is to not stress out your team members, your sales team members, you want to get regular employee feedback, whether it is from the sales team or from the admin team, doesn't really matter. So where continuous employee feedback is important is when you have to make a decision. You have to make a decision that involves those employees, that involves the bottom line, that involves sales growth. And you can use a lot of tools that allow staff to share ideas on how to improve the customer experience and for managers to see how staff is feeling towards the business. And this is called employee morale, right? You want to know what's really happening, and people have to be very comfortable to answer you. For example, using project management software or social media tools, you can create a closed environment where your organization can leave continuous feedback. One last thing you can also use is to measure the ROI, the return on investments from delivering great customer experience. If you have a program that does not allow you to see if you're making progress or not, it's not really helpful. So you need to have a way to track, whether through software or through internal Excel spreadsheets. You need to see the results of the great work that you're doing in the business results. You need to see the results in sales. You need to see the results in the bottom line, the revenue. Measuring customer experience is one of the biggest challenges faced by organizations. You have to know that. And you got to figure out how to do it for your own company. This is something you have to do on a case-by-case basis. I'll be right back right after this. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, folks, to another edition of Sweetie Kiwi. I hope you are still having a great conversation with us here. We are having fun. Just want to talk to you. If you love the content's clarity and quality so far, please consider subscribing to our channel and turn on the notification bell so you can be informed in real time. We release this kind of wonderful shows every single day, rain or shine, rain or shine. Please consider subscribing, sharing, liking, commenting, and also subscribing. I think I've already said that. The third way to motivate your sales team without stressing them out is to focus on coaching to improve performance. Coaching, folks, big C, coaching to improve performance. And I want you to let's first understand the 5 objectives of sales coaching. Sales coaching focuses on 5 things. Number 1, learning where improvement is needed in your representative's sales process. And this is something you gotta get from the representative, from the reps himself or herself. There's a lot of stuff that goes into productively completing a sale, right? I'm talking about pre-qualification of customers. That's what we mentioned earlier with prospects, working with gatekeepers, learning customer specific needs and expectations, and that's just a small portion of the work. And you have what happens is that throughout each phase of the sales process, there is so often a misalignment between the salesperson, the customer, or your company. And you can have a major and adverse event where like the sales does not close because of that misalignment. So you need to take care of that. And this is where sales coaching really takes place, and it's very important. It's very beneficial. You are able to have someone to come and help the rep understand that if he or she has been criticized, not because he or she is not performing, it's just that there are other problems that he or she needs help fixing. So your rep can recognize the criticism, and he or she can see that it is a valid one. He or she can take responsibility and be receptive to the process. Second thing you want to do is you want to develop and execute a personalized plan for improvement. This is where you have to align this to all the strengths and developmental areas of your sales reps. Each sales rep has, I would say, strengths and weaknesses, and it's up to you through the periodic performance reviews, whether it's quarterly or biannually or annually, to sort of understand where your sales rep needs help. And once you discover that, you can do this through your managers. You can do this through the sales reps managers, rather. You can get this through periodic appraisals. You can also use software to determine that. And so once you have that, you want to develop and execute a personalized plan for improvement, a PPI. The third thing you want to do is to develop a system of analysis, accountability, and continuous improvement. This is also important if you are helping a sales rep understand their performance is low. You want to help them. You want to give them the tools. You want to empower them to understand that they have to take actions. And once they start taking actions, you got to have a framework whereby you analyze and you can see whether or not they are complying with the rules and directions. So in other words, they have accountability, and also they are comfortable with continually improving. I also want to talk about an important thing here, and this is very important. You want to provide salespeople with a supportive presence and expert source of insight. And this is beyond the coaching. Coaching will help the salesperson understand the internal issues that are going on, as well as the external issues. But you want to have somebody who has acumen in the specific industry you are. You want the person to be able to explain to salespeople what they have to do to be better people. This can sometimes feel a little overwhelming, but it is a vital part of adapting and thriving as a sales rep. Seasoned sales veterans will likely be able to acclimate and adapt to new environments more quickly, but younger sales reps might have a tough time finding their footing, especially if the company has a new business, has a new product or service, or the company operates in a very competitive environment. And the thing here is that the new reps are not bad. I'm not saying that. They are great. They are impeccable. The thing is, they're just new. They're rookies. So they need some time to sort of acclimate themselves with what's really going on and start making the right decisions here. So you want to provide those salespeople with a supportive presence and expert source of insight. This can be colleagues. This could be external coaches. This could be professional networks. This could be a whole area of things. Next, you also want to help salespeople develop stronger relationships with customers. At the end of the day, a sale is more a human transaction. I don't care what anybody says. Yeah, we have the financial aspect of it. Yeah, you have somebody buying a car for 50 grand. There is money involved. Okay. But underneath all this sort of facade, this monetary facade, lies an important human element. People have to establish rapport to do business over and over and over. You may do business, you may win business once, but if you're not able to cultivate and forge tighter relationships with your customers as a sales rep, your chances of surviving in the industry are grim. Because at the end of the day, people buy stuff not because they think the product is wonderful. Of course, the product is wonderful, but there is a subliminal emotion attached to the whole thing. So the members of your sales team might bear the title of sales representative, but their role is that of trusted advisor and partner to your customer. Think about that. You want to think about the sales rep as the trusted advisor. Just by changing the name, you're changing already the mindset. Imagine if you were to call your sales reps right now that you're listening to me right now, this very moment. You decide as a small business owner to change your sales rep, to change their title into trusted advisors. This is just fantastic. So you're able to forge or help your sales rep forge a better relationship with your customers. And once they do that, your rep can understand the causes and create the causes of pain or causes of issues and create a plan of continuous improvement alongside their coach and begin building fruitful customer relationships. I'll be right back right after this. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, folks, to another edition of Sweetie Kiwi. I hope you are doing fantastic. I'm doing fantastic. I'm doing marvelous. And if you're doing as great as I am, go grab a cup of coffee or tea or vodka. Let's roll. We are continuing rolling here. I still want to talk to you about sales coaching, why it is important, because the topic here today's topic is to motivate your sales team without stressing them out. And there are 10 benefits of coaching that I want you to really pay attention to. You can coach. The reason why coaching is important is that coaching can boost revenue. Employees that are serene, they are more likely to contribute. Sales coaching can improve productivity. Coaching can help close bigger deals. At the end of the day, if you remember something called the Pareto principle says that 80% of revenue come from 20% of customers. So if you are able to if you're able to implement a good coaching strategy whereby your salespeople are trained, they can close bigger deals, which means the revenue for your company is increased. They can focus on the bigger fish. Coaching can strengthen your organization. If you have great coaches, great sales coaches, you're able to tighten together your team, and you're able to not only have a better morale for your sales reps, and you're able to help them improve not just individual performance, but also group performance. Coaching can help bring in new clients and appease the current ones. If you have the right coaching experience around in your company and people are happy to talk to your reps, all these things will fly around. You're talking about word of mouth. So the reputation of the business is increasing, is improving. Coaching can also improve employee satisfaction. So the sales reps are more motivated, they're happier, they are comfortable in their own skin, they're not scared anymore, they're really willing to do what they have to do. And all these things will have a big impact on the bottom line. Sales coaching can help improve employee communication skills. Communication skills is an important element, especially in sales, right? You want to have reps that are articulate, who can sell, who can understand customer problems and act on the spot and make sure the sale is closed. You can also get more creative sales rep through coaching. And you also can have coaching improving understanding of products and services. Think about coaching more, as sales coaching more, as some kind of outsourcing the training and development work, the training and development aspects of your sales rep. Usually sales rep will have to go every 3 months or every 6 months based on the industry to some kind of class, right, to get knowledge. But if you have a rep, if you have a coach who is multi-talented, he or she could actually elevate your sales team's minds to see things differently so that they can understand the products and services your company is selling. I'm not talking about the technical aspects here, because the technical aspects, I'm sure you have them. I'm sure you have newsletters, you have tutorials, you have PDF guides about the products. But where the sales coach is helping is the qualitative side of things, the psychological side of things. Coaching, finally, can help your small business prosper through difficult times. If you're able to coach your sales reps the right way, they can help your company have enough liquidity, generate enough liquidity that will make the company prosper through difficult times. Because the benefits of sales coaching are indispensable and imperative to the essence of any successful company. Sales coaching can completely overhaul business operations and transform, check this out, the sales reps themselves. And sales coaching can also revitalize your team and offer new perspectives on effective selling strategies. All right, folks, this was it for today. I really appreciate your being here with us. It has been a wonderful experience. I want to quickly tell you there are 3 surefire ways to motivate your sales team. Number 1, focus on the sales process, not the outcome. 2, focus on creating an impeccable sales experience that both the clients and the salesperson enjoy. 3, focus on coaching to improve performance. I will speak to you another time. But until then, remember, stay marvelous.